Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Blackshirt Breakdown. My name is Steve Mark. I'm a staff writer inside Nebraska. And that man over there, he is Jay Foreman, our NFL veteran and former Nebraska Blackshirt. Jay, hello, sir. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. It's 2 days after. So look, this is the first time, man, that we've not been on the winning side, but nevertheless, I'm pretty good.
Yeah, so Illinois comes into Lincoln on a Friday night. We'll talk about the weird factor because I did think there was a weird factor to the Friday night game. But Illinois gets out of Lincoln with a 31 to 24 win over Nebraska in overtime. And Jay, just a story time to kick this thing off. I was walking around on the field during pregame. I saw a squirrel. I never see a squirrel. Squirrel was like zipping around down there during pregame warmups for teams are like he was like kind of like dodging in and out of like guys like the O line during their warmups. And I thought to myself, you know, it's a Friday night. A freaking squirrel is on the field right now. I never see a squirrel.
Oh
What is
yeah.
what is going on right now? It's just a weird vibe. I was getting weird vibes, Jay. Were you getting weird vibes? I mean, when you were a player in college, did you ever play on Friday night?
No, unless it was national championship game, but no,
Yeah.
or not that I can think of. Yeah, I didn't know that. Maybe we need some wolves down there because we need to play a little bit more like wolves. I think it's one of the things that I don't think the vibe was off. I don't think really a Friday night is a big deal because Illinois has to play on Friday night. I just felt like we just didn't play good. I mean, we just got beat. I mean, at the end
Mhm.
of the day, we didn't play well. We didn't play up there. We didn't play decent enough. I felt like if we played decent, we could beat Illinois. We just, in particular defensively, we just didn't play well, and that's was the. I mean, there's other factors obviously, and you got to give them credit. They out executed us and was probably a little bit more physical at times than us, and we just got beat on Friday night. That's why it's so disappointing because we've been making strides and being more consistent, and we just weren't very consistent Friday night.
Yeah, and the big deal in my eyes, at least, is Nebraska's defense and its ability to stop the run, especially in the second half, and to even pinpoint it further in the fourth quarter. So Illinois rushed for 37 yards in the first half, just 37. In the second half, they racked up 129 rushing yards. In the fourth quarter alone, it was just disappointing to say the least. And we're going to go through some of those plays that Illinois was kind of busting loose through Nebraska's defensive front with ease at a lot of times it looked like. So Jay, let's without further ado, let's get into it. So Jay, I wanted to start with Dylan Raiola because I thought he showed some really great stuff. He did kind of miss that gimme touchdown to Luke Lindemeyer in the end zone. May have may have sealed the win, may have not. I don't know, but you can tell it really kind of impacted him after that pass felt incomplete. But overall, for Dylan, I thought he was again in control of the offense. He scored a touchdown. The offense scored a touchdown on its 2 minute drill again for the third time this season. So I wanted to start off with Dylan Raiola here and kind of this backyard ish esque type touchdown that the 2 minute drill ends on to Isaiah Nair, this 11-yard touchdown that gives Nebraska a 17-10 lead into the halftime. Jay, what did you see here? This is a pretty cool play, I guess, for just the football fans in general watching stuff. I hate to do this, but yes, it did kind of look like Patrick Mahomes the way his body kind of was just drifting to the left, and he was throwing just an accurate kind of dart-ish type throw, and it finds Isaiah Nair.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's impressive for, a 19-year-old kid, true freshman, to be able to lead a 2 minute drive and to be efficient and execute and have command of the offense. You don't get to make these type of plays, whether you want to compare him to Patrick Mahomes or not, unless you have command of your skill set in the offense of where guys are going to be and know who he's throwing to, is meaning knowing who his counterparts or his is a players that he's playing with, so he's got to know the talent around him. So it's a good. Here it is. It's pretty much a flood route here, right? You're flooding from the right to the left with Nair,
Mhm.
and you're bringing Banks over as well, and you like it. You got Fedoni in the area, and he knew with this pass right here, he could gamble a little bit. First off, it's 1st and 10, and he knows there's 23 seconds left on the clock. So if he throws it, he has enough confidence in his arm accuracy and pinpointing to where the only people or the only person that can catch it is Nair. And this is something that you know from film study, but then also know that have knowledge of the offensive system, but then also knowing the talent level of people around you. So you got two guys in the flat here. good job here. You go into a mini scramble drill, right? And so this
Hmm.
is kind of, this is taught. And look, he's throwing it only where Nair or Fedoni can catch. You got 6'6" Fedoni, and Nair's, I think, close to 6'3", 6'4". Good catch. It's not a good catch. It's a great catch right
Yeah.
there. High pointing the ball, being physical, right, against a good defensive back there from Illinois. And also good job with Fedoni. He called this drill a toe drag swag. Good job right here. Scramble drill, throw it up, know he's there. Look, Fedoni's right there too as well. So
Hmm.
good job right there by Dylan, but then even a better job by Nair locating the ball, high pointing the ball, and being have good strong hands and obviously athletic ability and spatial awareness to drag that foot and send the team into halftime with a 7-point lead. When you relatively overall, that means in all three phases, probably haven't played up to your capabilities. And so to go into halftime with a 7-point lead is a pretty good feat against a upstart Illinois team that obviously is going to be ranked a little bit higher after beating Nebraska.
This next throw that we are going to be showing was probably one of my favorites of the night from Dylan. Just the way he kind of feathered, he layered this throw right over the top of inside linebacker Dylan Rosiak, number 28, in front of the safety Xavier Scott. But Jay, this again, I assume this is a just a called rollout just to get him on the move, change the launch point, get him looking at different things, and he finds Nair again on this over route and just right over the top of that first line of that second level defender.
Yeah. It's a good half rollout, right? You're flooding the zone from left to right, right? And this is what you want to do. You want to keep Illinois' defense off of off kilter here and let them not be comfortable. And then you can only do this when you have a quarterback, number one, that has knowledge of the system, command of the offense, command of his athletic ability, and also has the trust of the players and coaches to make a throw like this, right? This is not a easy throw. Rolling out to your right, right? Trying to avoid any type of pressure. You're reading the defense on the move, and the defense is moving on the move. What I mean by that is that the defense is kind of moving over to their left as you're rolling to the left. And it looks like a little bit of a cover three because you have the middle runner there. And so it's a really good pass right here over the hook dropper, which is their middle linebacker, in between the linebacker and the safety right here. And this is a big time throw right here. Big time
Yep.
catch, but boy, better throw. And that's what, like I always say, you want that throw in between the hash and the number when you're rolling out in that type of offense. So it's a level we call it a level flood, where it means you're flooding all three levels. You're putting stress on the flat right here, right, mid level, and then also deep to keep the safety honest. You see there with Barney. So a great play call, great execution, and great arm strength and great arm accuracy of Dylan Raiola on the move. Let you know why he was the number one rated player and quarterback in his class.
Yep, you mentioned a great play call, great execution. Now, unfortunately, we have to kind of transition into plays with the Huskers that were not well executed.
Mm.
One of them was this kind of 3 yard on the 3 yard. Illinois scores a touchdown, throws a touchdown to the tight end. Just some obvious miscommunication, some confusion on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, the hard thing about the red zone is that people always like, oh, it should be easier because there's not a lot of space. Now that does work to your defensive advantage when you don't, but then also you have to be really, really, detailed in who you have in communication, right? And you see it right here, you see eyes right here. And I don't know, I'm not in the defensive meetings. I don't know who has who. Right, they're in a little bit of a bear front here. Bear front, if you pause this right here, right, you got three defensive linemen right there. Then you got
Mm-hmm.
MJ Sherman, and then you got Stephon Thompson, and I think it's either Wright or Tommy Hill on the outside. I think Tommy Hill's been out of the game here,
I
by
think
that
that's
time. So,
Sierra Wright up there.
right. So Sierra Wright is there. He's coming like a little bit of a cat blitz, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's usually man-to-man defense. So if you go back to the beginning here, right, generally it looks like, okay, Sierra Wright might have the eye back. That's the dot back there. And it looks like Bullock has the fullback, right? So
Mm-hmm.
and then you like, okay, a process of elimination. It might be Thompson that has the tight end. That's what you usually have in this bear front. And I will tell you this is a hard position to play. Now, generally, when I played in a bear front,
Mm-hmm.
when we stemmed to a bear front like this, and I played this in the NFL, we had an outside linebacker that would be up on the line of scrimmage that would kind of run and we used to call it cut the edge off of this tight end, like kind of jam him down because it's hard to play this close man to man. But if you
Yeah.
look at it, if this is Stephon Thompson's man, it's bad eyes, right? You got to look at the guy you're guarding or the guy that you got to cover. Now it looks like maybe he thinks he has the eye back, which would be a little bit odd, but you just never know because you can't expect he would be going through essentially the first, guy that he could cover, which is right in front of him to
Hmm.
guard a guy in the backfield. It looks like maybe the safety has one of the eye backs. To be honest with you, when you look at this defense here, if you pause it right here, right, it looks like Bullock is focused on the fullback, which is actually another tight end. I think it's number 84.
Yep.
It looks like they're playing. This is just in my opinion. I don't know. Obviously, it looks like they're playing a little bit of a 3-on-2 here on between Bullock, was that Singleton and Gifford, right? So those three generally have those two running backs. You see that?
Yeah.
Now that's it. I'm just guessing right here because I
Hmm.
figure if Singleton was supposed to now this possibly could happen as well. Singleton, if he was going to be guard having the tight end, he would be to the left of Bullock. It would just be now if he's lined up wrong, then that's on him. But just the way they're lined up, and from my experience, like I said, I'm not in the defense. I don't know the defense enough, and I'm not here to critique the calls. I'll just go off of my experience of what I know. In my experience playing in the NFL and obviously in college, that if Singleton had either the tight end or any of these running backs, right? Especially if he was in the mix to have the tight end, he would have to be on the outside of Bullock to
Bullock.
Bullock's left.
Hmm.
Now, if I wanted to be a little bit more, like to help guys out a little bit, right? Because I always feel like a linebacker, it's the helper position. If it's me in this position and Singleton's in the middle, right, and say we're playing like a triangle on two, right? Essentially, it's
Hmm.
like basketball. If I'm Bullock, I'm a line up a little bit wider here,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Now, and reason why is because if you're hold on, pause it now. If you're locking this up right here, if you're just straight up, we used to call it vice. That means there's no switching,
Hmm.
there's no banjo call unless we call it and break. We used to call it breaking the ice, right? I'm gonna give myself the best advantage to get to that flat because I have inside help between those two. And also I would want to create another level with Stephon Thompson because he has a really, really hard job because look how close this guy is there.
Oh yeah.
Now, I'm assuming in his stance, I don't know what he's doing really, to be honest with you, but as the play shakes out, it looks like Bullock's pretty confident in who he has in the flat,
Hmm.
and nobody has the fullback. But this is more of a conceptual play that they must have seen something in Nebraska that they took advantage of because they ran this kind of concept in overtime
Yep.
after the long run, and they ran it. I think another couple. They went to it. This was kind of like their go-to under pressure play concept. To the
Hmm.
left of our defense, though, let's what you have a right-handed quarterback. When you see this shake out, it's just miscommunication and a coverage bust. That's what it was. This has nothing to do with play calling, coaching. It's just a lack of execution on the player's part.
Yeah, no, let's watch it play out here. And one thing, whether it's right or wrong to do is after the play, watch the player reactions and they're all just kind of looking around and
Well, it doesn't. Well, here's if you look at this right now. If Bullock takes the 7 cut, which is where it goes,
yeah.
the flat route's open.
Yes.
So it does. Right now, it's not just everybody's wrong because
Yeah.
it doesn't matter the coverage that you call. Is everybody plays the coverage, it's going to work out, right? There's no coverage where there's no right answer here.
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Sure.
There's no right answer here because two guys would have been open. If you take the 7 cut, yeah, you could say, oh, that's a harder pass to the flat right there, but he's wide open. I mean, you expect a quarterback in the Big Ten to do it, and this is something if you can go back to the beginning, go back to this play right here. Though obviously we need to move on right
Hmm.
here, right now, right? This is pause it. You need more pre-snap communication. See it? It's
Absolutely.
just right because
Hmm.
this is a stressful situation. This is obviously cover zero, right? I mean, we're man to man, so you can call it cover zero, you can call it cover one. At the end of the day, there's 5 guys in the route or potentially could be in the route. We need 5 guys covering it.
Hmm.
So essentially, like you need to make sure everybody's on it, and it's hard because you're on at home and not on the road, and that's why pre-snap communication is huge. And I call it during the snap communication because if we're running a banjo. We're yelling switch, switch. These are things you have to replicate in practice in order to get down, get them done in the game. So, a little bit of more better pre-snap communication.
Hmm.
There's two wrongs don't make a right, and obviously somebody was open, and unfortunately it was too easy for them on 1st and goal.
Now that was in the past game. Let's go
Yeah.
to the rush game. Obviously, everybody who watched the game knows that Illinois got the run game going in the fourth quarter. But Jay, let's start with this one right here. It's a big hitter for Caden Fegan, Illinois' top running back, 250
Mhm.
pounds. And what do you see here?
Well, you don't want to let a big man right here get his shoulder square to the line of scrimmage. You want him to go sideways, and right there, right, that's
Yep.
a problem, right? When a big man gets rolling, and that's just nature versus nurture right here. So we'll look at the front right here, right, and a little bit right, probably got scoop blocked right there, right. Defensive lineman probably got scooped right there, so that creates a soft edge, right. And that
Yes.
what happens is you can out leverage people by numbers or by obviously out execute them. So we got out executed at the point of attack, which led to what we always call defensively, right? It is direct access to our play. So now this direct access to our second level. So right here, look, watch here, right here, right? We get out leverage, right? Right, and it looks like they're in man to man. So we got to get going right here. Now that we lose at the point of attack, right? And that's why you get a good center right here who kind of already knows the guard did a good job right there, a scoop blocking there, our defensive tackle. Now he has the leverage on our linebacker right here. So now you're in a survival mode right here. And they got hat on hat. This is a good execution against us and a
Yeah.
one back one set alignment, right? And now he's getting upfield. And so now you're just really trying to minimize the damage right here. And then this is where, we made a good tackle, but ultimately at the point of the attack, we, got a little bit of scoop blocked. And if it was a predetermined stunt by there, we needed to be over a little bit at the second level for a linebacker. And you don't want any running back. It doesn't matter if he's 250 pounds, 190 pounds, 200 pounds. And then obviously kind of a little bit of a lazy play here, right here, right?
Yep.
Stick your
Face
face
mask.
in it. Right. So you don't want to compound interest on plays like this, right? And you know what I'm saying? Look, it's all right right here. Get in there. Like, what I'm saying? You gotta get in there. Like
Yeah.
get in there right here. I mean, gotta get your feet wet right here. Right? Get in there, stick your face in there and see what's happening. And then maybe not your face, but your shoulder or something like that. Because you gave up an explosive run right here. I think explosive run in the run game, at least when I played way back in archaic days, was 10 yards or more. So
Yep.
now you give up I call it a doubly explosive play. The explosive play that you gave up, right? I got out executed. Give them credit.
Hmm.
They beat us and they're allowed to do their own scholarship, highly paid coaches and have pride about themselves. You knew that they were going to be able to make plays, but then that's a controllable 15-yard penalty that you would like. But those are the hidden yards that if you can kind of get those back, and especially in a tight game like this, you want those back. But now here we are in the same thing right here. One back set. They're trying to spread you out right here
Hmm.
and see what they can do. Now, look, when they ran this the last time, the tight end was opposite,
Yep.
right? So guess what they do here? They're
Split
running
block.
it a little bit different, right? But guess what they did? They just got back to the tight end being opposite by just, essentially having them go away. It's the same play.
Hmm.
They always say this is that they're going to run 4 or 5 plays, 4 to 6 run plays. This is a little tidbit. Teams usually run 4 to 6 run plays. They just dice them up a little bit different. Watch this right here. See there, if you go back to the play that we had before, right? Just look where the tight end is right here.
Yep. Off the right hip
And
of
that
the right tackle.
off the right hip, right? And the only difference is what this other play is because when you have a tight end that goes opposite and kicks out, you have to have a negative split by this receiver in this second play, so the receiver can actually get a good angle on this corner right here. See, watch this. So it's the same play right here. Now,
Hmm.
right? It's
Yeah.
the same play. Right now, we had looks like a little bit of a stunt. So that means now, instead of the center being up on that play side linebacker, the tackle is up on it. And now you have two guys. There got to be a misread here, right? And on who has the tight end or not, right? So, right, there's
Hmm.
got to increase in, like, right, the communication's got to be key, right?
Communication. Hmm.
Right. So you can't run with it, or unless if you are running with it, then we got to bump this over and we got to super super flow here, right? And it's a confusion play right here, right?
Look at Singleton and Bullock both going with that split block tight end.
Right, that's what you want, but that's where you want the key. That's where you got to be on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
See there? And then there you go. Then you got the backup running back getting another explosive play. So what they do, what people do, and this is actually, you know what, Steve, we saw this play a little bit with Northern Iowa, but they ran it with their 45 tight end came from the slot to the
Yeah.
motion to the other side. And that, you know, so
Mm-hmm.
it's what did we say last week? Nebraska can fix this, but understand that Illinois is going to run some sort of version of this. So you gotta look at what they were trying to do and make sure that you're ready for any type of version of it come Friday night. And teams will out leverage you by numbers, right? That means they'll motion shift and just get you by like pure numbers. You won't have enough people in the run game. But what they also can do is create leverage by messing with your eyes. And that's the huge part right here. Watch, look at the eyes, right? Communication, right? Now 42 right here, which is Makai Bear, is in a no-win situation. You got a
Yeah.
pretty good tackle. They do a good job of passing it off. It's probably maybe holding there on Sherman, you know, with the left arm here by the guard, right? Now this is TikTok. Look, linemen hold every play. We got to
Mm-hmm.
extend right here, get our right. You got to like to throw them off right here, right? You get engulfed a little bit late to the party. You get hooked right here. Makai
Yeah.
Bear is in, you know, it's no win situation, right? You almost want to be in survival mode and retreat and then make the tackle, right? You want to kind of get square pads,
Mm-hmm.
throw them off. We're on edges, and so now they have an explosive run. Watch this. You never want a running back to have his shoulder square. So you got to give a little bit of credit to Illinois, but I like to think that Nebraska, you know, if we had a little bit better eyes and execution would be okay right there. Just a little bit communication isn't just telling people where to line up and all that. It's also communication is helping people execute during the play, because that'll actually make you snap out of it and go where you need to go.
Now this next play, it was a cat blitz from Sierra Wright, who I thought showed some really good things, which was good to see. When Tommy Hill went out with his injury, Sierra Wright stepped up, and looked ready for the moment at least, and he had this blitz off the edge from the boundary, strip
Yeah.
sack with the quarterback. Nebraska recovers. So what'd you see here, Jeff?
Yeah, Sierra Wright, he came over from USC. You know, I
Mhm.
think he got the kind of bogus pass interference call, but look what you
Yep.
like right here. Sack forced fumble. This is the drill that, Tony White knows and the coaches said we want to put an emphasis on creating more turnovers, right? So one thing now, you're coming blindside, great call, great execution, right? And being physical and being smart, right? Because normally back here, we're going, back when I played, we're trying to knock you out of the game. But what did he do? This is the drill I'm sure they drill all the time, right? Strip or sack, force fumble, strip the ball right here. Look, good technique. You got the left hand around him, secure the tackle, and you swipe down actively trying to create the fumble.
Yeah.
Good job by Makai Bear right there, being Johnny on the spot, right? And pursuing to the ball in a crucial time with 8.5 minutes left. Right here, you're thinking like, okay, Nebraska was kind of taking some punches, punches, working our counter punch B. Boom. You get the turnover. A great execution right here. Really good job here by Sierra Wright causing the fumble. Good job by Makai Bear of good fumble recovery technique, and so that's a good big play for Nebraska. Unfortunately, didn't lead us to victory. Now, this right here is a
First play
play
of
that
Illinois at overtime. So
right. So this play right here, this type of play right here, and now again, we if we look at this right here, it's just a look see, right? This is just I call these plays look sees,
and
right?
what's that?
We're going to look and see if you fix the mistakes that
Okay.
you did before, right?
Yeah.
Now
Hmm.
watch this right here. Now they ran this play a little bit different. Now it's the same concept right here.
Yep. It's
Now
the
they're
same
putting
look.
it. Yeah, it's the same look. Now, but now look, you got MJ Sherman, who normally doesn't play stack linebacker, right? So I
Hmm.
don't know if they're in man or zone or whatever, but ultimately you got to be over bumped to the right a little bit if you're a stack linebacker, in my opinion,
Hmm.
right? You go inside. Now you got an inside out runner, right? And the alley player or the fill player, right?
Malcolm
Right
Hartzog.
here. Is that Hartzog or is that
Hartzog
Singleton?
is the Hartzog. I think it's. Oh wait,
No, that's
hold on.
the Singleton coming down from the hash,
Oh,
right?
that is Singleton. My bad.
Yep, you got to
Sorry.
come down, right? You got to come down and push it back to Isaac Gifford here, right? Right here, right? Bump, 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 right? You got to come down, expect it. I don't know what coverage they're in right here. right? Could be like a two-man, right? I doubt it. I don't know. Let's see what they're in right here. Looks like a little. Yeah, I'm not really sure what they're in right here, but at the end of the day, you got 2-on-1 right here. This is tackling 1-on-1,
Mm-hmm.
right? And now you need your share, right? Looks like he was in man, so you're late, right? So you're the contained player. So essentially, right here, it was a little bit of a look see with a big running back. Lucky enough, we got him out at the 6-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a 17-yard play, another explosive run right here. And right here, I'm not really sure. Right here, you got Ty going into the C gap right here,
Mm-hmm.
or yeah, the C gap. And yeah, sure, MJ might be in the B. So you need whoever's supposed to be coming off the tail of the tight end there. You have to be down earlier. And what reason why you need to be down earlier is because you have to force that back to look all those red jerseys right there, right? Where you got Isaac Gifford, you got Ty, you got everybody
Sure, right.
Nash coming in. Yeah, well, everybody's coming from inside out. So when you're the essentially the force player, or right in this case, it could be the alley player, or you're the force player. Somebody's the force player out here has to force it back inside.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're just whether it's the slip or whatever, you're just a little bit late, and that's how you give up explosive runs because now it puts Sierra Wright in a no-win situation. He's playing man to man, and he's a secondary late. He's a rally defender here if you're in man to man. And so that's what happens. It's just those little things lead to giving up 130 yards rushing in the second half. You got to think I think we just looked at 3 plays. I think they're all in the second half, right?
Yes.
They all so are those 3 plays. That was 17. The other one was 18 to 20. Another one was close to about that. So it's
Mm-hmm.
3 plays anywhere from 45 to 60 plus yards. 3 plays. So that can really skew your
Sure.
yards per rush stats, but then also it could be a gloss over look at your defense and be like, oh, we were not very good against the run. Now I think Nebraska could do a lot of things better individually and play better against the run, but those
Mm-hmm.
those explosive plays definitely hurt, especially one in overtime when your back's against the wall.
About 7 minutes here left, Jay, but obviously the overtime period hasn't done well for Nebraska the past 8 times. It has been in overtime situations, and obviously the drive in overtime for Nebraska got off to a terrible start with a false start.
Hmm.
So 1st and 15 right away, and then they give up the sack. Just looks like a
Right.
little TE stunt here, and Alec
Yeah.
Bryant, the outside linebacker for Illinois, gets the job done.
Yeah, the 2 outside rushers were the guys that they depend on right here. But this is what you
Yeah.
do right here. Let's not right here. First of all, Gunnar Kurtula is in there. This is first really
Yep.
extended action in
Yep.
big time football. After Turner got hurt, he didn't look out of place, and this is what you got to expect right here, right? A TE stunt. It's got to be a little bit better communication. Where's the running back? Where's the running back? You missed it, right? You would have liked a
Yep.
little bit of a chip right
Mhm.
here. This is a stunt. This is what's crazy. This is the same stunt that Nebraska got beat on when Mickey Joseph took over and knocked out Casey Thompson.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's the same
Seth
stunt
Coleman
because
was the one
yeah,
who knocked out
it,
Casey
right.
Thompson as well. Yeah.
So you got to expect these type of stunts and stuff right here, just a little bit off on communication. I don't know if the running back's supposed to check inside out. I would just like to think a little bit more, excuse me, a little bit more right here. You run right
Mhm.
past him, right? You don't pass go, right? Right? And give
Mhm.
you right. Don't be so overzealous to get into the press route. Would you like to, right? Justin Evan Jenkins is 2-on-2, but you'd like to have that little bit of a helper right there, right? Because you're not going to be that much more effective in there if you chipped him right there. But ultimately, this sack right here put Nebraska nail in the coffin
Yep.
with no chance really to come back because you had to score a touchdown. And you can't really get into your drop. This is a direct access play that we have not given up a lot
Mhm.
at all
Yeah.
offensively this year, minimal at all. And give Illinois credit right here. But I think that we could, if we had to do it again, a little bit of help there by the running back.
So Jay, as we move forward with everything surrounding Nebraska right now, a lot of people are having a skies falling type mentality right now. I don't really believe that. It was one game and it's September. But where do you sit right now? We got 5 minutes left here. Where do you sit right now with just Nebraska? And look, I mean, straight up, they got popped in the mouth, and now they have to
Yeah,
learn how to respond and move on. And now they have Purdue, which is a very winnable game. It's their first road game, though, so
right.
that's something new that we're going to have to watch with these guys. But if you're in the locker room, Jay, what are the guys talking about? What are the coaches telling the players?
Well, I mean, number one, you just got to go back and look at what we could have done better. And I think Nebraska, probably is more disappointed and have
Hmm.
regret because I feel like if we would have played decent, we would have won the game. I felt like we played below decent, and we haven't done that in a long, long time. And so those things and how it happened probably are first and foremost. Once you get past the regret, anger, and sad or whatever,
Yep.
and then you just move on. I mean, I can tell you this for the fan. Listen, if people are turning the page on Nebraska after they're 3-1, then you're one of those people that are just waiting for Nebraska to lose. That means you really are just a front runner fan. So I don't think. I mean, I think they're kind of right where I expected them. I would have liked it. Wanted them to be 4-0. They're 3-1. So right now I'm more focused on what they do next week in Purdue. So really you got to go back and fundamentally look at what you got to do better, get better at you, right? Just like Nebraska is a great place for Nebraska to get back to what they do best, and that's get back to fundamentals, hard work, and earn your job, and then move on and go beat the brakes off of Purdue. I don't think it's anything. I mean, I'm not dummying down the loss, but hopefully I look at it like this: at the end of the season, maybe this is a good loss for them to wake them up a little bit, having 4 home games, and dealing with a ton of people patting you on the back for 3 weeks straight, no matter how it looked. And you got caught by surprise, and and Illinois came to compete, and then we just didn't play well, and so that's the recipe for disaster for your first loss of the season.
Yeah, maybe I definitely agree, Jay. I think that, I was telling myself that walking back from the stadium after the game was, maybe this is a blessing in disguise somehow that this happened during the season when it did in late
Yeah,
September as opposed
it happens to
yeah.
everybody, and however you take it and however you use it, however I'll say this, I'll leave you with this. However this is perceived and received in that locker room, players first will take us a long way or a little way rest of the season.
Good stuff as always, Jay. So for Jay Foreman, my name is Steve Mark, and that was a Blackshirt Breakdown, Illinois style. Catch you guys later.